¿Dónde está el loop este que me dejó? Acá. Okay. Learning how this works. Okay, now.
Okay, here we are.
Everything new, everything to figure out here.
Always learning. Okay.
Yes.
I will join the stream.
I'm not a digital person, so everything is new.
But you are learning, and that's important.
Yes, we are. I don't have today. We don't have the title that always comes with us.
Yes, it was helping to stick to the topic.
Yes, but yes, to follow and come back to to what we're supposed to talk, because sometimes we start talking and we start sharing and we go from one line and then from another.
Yes,
So we come back
exactly.
to the center.
Exactly.
Alliance.
Exactly. Well, so the topic, where is the topic? The topic is boundaries as act of love, redefining self-care. Whew. That is actually quite a nice topic.
I know it's very, very nice to talk about this, because it's something that affects to the all aspects of our life. And I think it's important sometimes to remind ourselves these boundaries and how to set boundaries in a safety or healthy way. You know?
Exactly. And I like, because in this topic, we have three words that are important. One is the boundaries, the other is self-care and love. And they all seem to be in conflict, because love in general and self-care not always seem to be the same thing. Because sometimes to take care about yourself, you need to put boundaries, and then there's a question: how does it relate with love? And
then boundaries is part of that. But you said that they are in conflict, isn't it?
Yes, in a way there's a conflict, because if you love somebody, like normally when you say, if I love people, if I'm open, if I'm like an easygoing person who's always open to new people, then what happens with my boundaries? And if I put boundaries, do I still remain a good person, or am I being selfish? So there's always this tension between boundaries and love. And can I love people when I put boundaries? And it's not that easy, because there are many people who think that if they put boundaries, they will be judged, and people will interpret them as selfish, as egoist people. So oftentimes,
they don't like me or love me anymore.
Yes. So
it's not easy.
And then we have this self-care. What does self-care has to do with boundaries?
Yes.
So it's interesting.
Yes, because what we think when we talk about self-care, usually.
Yeah.
The first thing that we think about is like going to the gym, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
well, I think about spa.
Going to a spa, going on vacation.
Yes, and all those Instagram or Pinterest pictures of rituals and spa candles and
yes. So
having
when
hot
I
tub with
say
candles.
For you, it's going to the spa, yes. For
Uh-huh.
me, it's doing exercise. I don't know. We think
Or
so many things.
skincare.
Skincare, yes, self-care, yes. Like the first thing that comes to our head usually is something like from outside, like taking care of me is like looking good or being, I don't know, doing things like reward myself with external things, no?
Yes,
like
yes. Connect.
buying something for me, something I like.
Exactly. Things connected with aesthetics, with health, or with self-indulgence. Sometimes we confuse this uh, self-care with self-indulgence. Like I can buy myself a new box of chocolates.
Yes, I was actually watching a reel on Instagram about this. There is
Uh-huh.
a woman that she traveled to Japan, and she was talking about exactly this, like how people see what buying means. Like we are a little compulsive
Oh
purchasers,
yeah. Mm,
buyers in
yes.
Latin America, US, or Canada, countries like that. We just buy all the time, and we think as a buying as a reward, like I buy something because I deserve it, because I work hard, but in Japan it's something different. It's like they see the buying as just as a necessity, like I buy something because I need it. Like they not greedy, she was calling like that, no, they not greedy,
Hmm.
they not like just going mental about purchasing, buying, and online like all the time selling that they sell it to you. Looks like the propaganda there is different. It's like they not trying to sell all the time, and they just like focus on the necessity or self-care in a different way, like
Hmm.
coming to this to self-care. Like we always think that that's it, taking care of yourself, buying
Uh-huh.
nice
Wow.
things for us, and for them is something different.
Wow, I
So
like
let's
it.
see,
That's
let's see what self-care is. What we
uh-huh.
think now after this conversation.
Yes, this is like putting things from different perspective, letting us
Yeah,
see
maybe
things from
we
different
change our
perspective.
view about that.
Yes. Yeah, this.
So it was
So,
interesting to watch that, and she also was surprised because it's a culture thing, no? Like, but she never seen buying. She's from Mexico, so for her also it's like she was buying to show sometimes, no, not just
mhm.
for me because I like it. Sometimes you buy to belong, to share with
Yes.
others, to show off, to
Uh-huh.
post it on Instagram that you have
Yes, yes.
last purse or something.
Yes, like to
And,
show your
and
status or to
yes, so it's
and
something
that's
that we
uh-huh.
confuse as a self care sometimes, no?
Yeah. Yeah, like self-care and status and
Yes,
interesting.
because it's what they taught us that that's what it is. That since we are little, like they always tell us that or showing us that self care means to look good, to be I don't know, aligned with the what you
Mhm.
should, the way you should be, behave, look, and
Mhm.
what you're supposed to own or have, or uh, I don't know, the Instagram pictures and all that that
Uh-huh.
confuse our heads sometimes with what the life supposed to be. No?
Yes, exactly. And it's so it's also so difficult because like culturally we in at least in our cultures in Argentina and also in Poland, we are conditioned to associate self care with the external things and with aesthetics
Yeah.
and also with something that is not so necessary. I think it's like uh, I don't know if in Argentina, but when I think for me about self care, is the last for me when in the place where I grew up, self care was the last thing you care about.
Mhm.
It's
Also.
just like it's like the last important thing. The first is work. You have to work hard or study hard if you are a student, and like you have to do things so that the other people acknowledge you and recognize your work, and then they say that okay, you are okay,
Yeah.
and you have to care about the others.
Hmm.
And as like the last part is you is this part of self-care about yourself, and it's something like not necessary. uh, and
Yeah.
I remember my mother when somebody was offering her some sort of okay, let's go to spa, do something with uh, she said I don't have time for self-care. Like for her, self-care was just going to the hairdresser. That was her self-care, but nothing else, like hairdresser and that's it. And other and also people looked down at you when you were saying that you are taking care of yourself. So In a
Yes.
way, it's even it's even different than in Latin America, because then when I moved to Latin America, I saw that it's normal that people go to spa or do something with them. They would do more
Get a,
things for their bodies than just going to the hairdresser. And that it's okay. They don't People don't look at you that like, you are so showing off, or you don't have you have too much free time. It's just like something that is necessary.
yes, I think that
Mhm.
changed in the last years or so. I don't know, 10
Uh-huh.
years or so, because before it wasn't that like that. I think there was a change also here in,
Uh-huh.
I don't know about the rest of Latin America, but in Argentina, like people started caring more about the health, about taking care of yourself, like going to the
Hmm.
gym, or for a health wise, not like just to look good.
Uh-huh.
So the change in the way you eat, and
Hmm.
there was a big change about the like caring a little bit deeper about your body and
Uh-huh.
about your health, and also doing like therapy and stuff like that, like something like that too.
Yes.
Or it
This
was like only crazy
uh-huh.
people takes therapy or goes to a
Uh-huh.
psychologist or a psychiatrist, and
Yes, we
that
can
changed.
see that. Yes, so like that there is a shift in mentality that
Yes,
we can observe, that saying that self care started to include also the part of mental health. Like it's not only self care is for your health, for your physical health, but also for your mental health. And yeah, therapy or coaching or all the other things that are available now, and they are in bloom. People are It's very popular. People say, okay, I started to this new therapy, or I'm going to new coach, or I'm starting coaching sessions, and it's okay, it's normal, and also
yes,
it's something new. I remember the first thing, like the first event that shocked me with self-care
hmm,
was the famous airplane security announcement that says that you have to put, in case of the pressurizing of the cabin, you have to put the oxygen mask, place it on your face, and in case you travel with children or there are some people who need assistance, you have to put your mask first, and then you can attend your children. And for
yes,
me, it was like, which mother would do that? If I had, if I traveled with my child, of course I would put their mask first and then mine. And then I started to think and say, okay, but if I don't put my mask first, I cannot help the others. And yeah, like this. So this shows that it was, for me, it was like my first experience, first like aha moment, to realize that if I want to serve other people, if I want to do whatever it is that I'm doing, I need to take care of me first. I need to put my oxygen mask, and then I can help the others. Because if not, if I do the other way around, we can both die.
I know.
Being
Sometimes we
dramatic.
don't think about that. Like we only see that the other ones are before us, and we don't think
Hmm.
about what about me. And also, if I don't put myself in front, then I can be for the other people around me. And I think that the people, usually the persons that they think about the other people before themselves, are the ones that for them it's harder to set boundaries,
Hmm.
because
Yes.
they care so much about the others, and how and the appreciation from other people, and how everybody's gonna look at them, and everything is about the others. So if they
Exactly.
think that if they set boundaries, they're gonna stop loving them, they're not gonna like them,
Hmm.
or they're not gonna appreciate it, or she can, like, she's not allowed to do it, or he or
Hmm.
she, because you have to be for the others, you have to help the others, you have to always say yes to everything they ask you to do. So it's not something that you even think about it, to say
Hmm.
no, for example. Like it doesn't even come to your head for people like that, usually, no? So for them
Totally.
it's harder.
And this is because also they is, as you said, they put all their attention outside. So in a way, they construct their own identity based on what the how useful they are for the other people, how helpful they are, how much appreciation they receive from the other people. So in a way, all their like construction of self is
Yes.
based on the way the others perceive them.
Yes.
So that's why it's so hard for them to establish boundaries, I think, because boundaries are not, they don't, their boundaries are stretched to its limits, like because the boundaries for them, they exist because of the others, of how the others look at them.
Yes.
So that's why they cannot find boundaries, they cannot put boundaries, because they cannot find themselves within their own boundaries. They are not there, they are outside.
Yeah, and also I heard something about boundaries that for me was very interesting to share
Uh-huh.
now with you. Because there was a woman talking about boundaries and self-love and self-care and all that, and she was saying that boundaries are also a way to communicate how you want to be treated, like how you treat others, because if you set boundaries to other people, so they understand the message the way you want to be care or talk or I don't know. For example, I'm a coach, I have a sessions, and I set boundaries about what time I'm available, what time I'm not, what time usually I respond the messages. So already the person that just come to me understand those timings or those the dialogue or the way we're gonna communicate. So the
Uh-huh.
way you set the boundaries and the way you treat others is you are already communicating how you want people to communicate with you, to talk to you, to approach to you, because you're already saying, okay, I talk to my clients from 7 to 9, and the rest of the day I'm not available. So the clients already understand that that's the way we communicate with you,
Hmm.
or like in a way to the way you want to be treated. So if you set boundaries from the beginning of a relationship, in this case,
Hmm.
or when you start dating somebody, and you say, I like this, I don't like this, or this is the way I can provide to you, and in this way, no, I can't. So you start already communicating the way you can, or you're gonna be available, or how you can be the best of you with a person, uh, setting boundaries or saying what you want, what you like, what you dislike, the way how much time I can be for the other person, and how much time I need for my stuff, for my life, for my personal care.
Hmm.
So it was
Totally. And
interesting. There is a lot to talk there, but,
uh-huh.
but it was interesting
Yes,
that starting.
I think that's a very important point, because it's like the boundaries, they set the rules of the game you want to play.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
if you don't
exactly
set
that.
your boundaries, like you have to play the game of the others.
Yes.
uh,
Yeah.
so especially it's important when yes, when you in any kind of interaction, like if you don't set the boundaries, somebody else will set the boundaries.
Yes.
And you can see that it's so important with children, when children are always looking for boundaries, like we are always, boundaries something that separates me from like my private space or my body from, like, physically
Yes.
boundary, bodily boundary is what delimits myself from the outer space. And and then so we have this bodily boundary, we also have this more like space boundary, like where's my personal space. And if my personal space is always something around half a meter around my body, so there's not many people that I can let in this personal space. Normally we keep distance of 1 meter with other people. So the boundary is something that delimits us, and we need to know where the boundaries are. And for kids, it's very important. They are always checking the boundaries, how far they can go with asking for screen time, for example, or for yes, bedtime. They always want to stretch the limit. Say, when can I stay 1 minute more, 1 minute longer? Tell me one story more before going to sleep. They are always trying to stretch the boundary of the other of the adults, but in a way I thought normally we think that they are doing this because they are I don't know
Like
they are being sorry.
they are trying us all the time, like seeing how
Uh-huh.
far we can get, how we're gonna react, like
Yes, and we
right.
think that they are spoiled, but in a way they are not spoiled. They are checking because they need boundaries to feel safe, and many
Mhm.
times they need this no from the parent to see where the boundary is, and when they know where the boundary is, they feel safe. It's something that they will cry, they will do the throw the tantrum, of course, but this is what they need to feel safe. They say, okay, I can go this far. And if they have parents who always stretch the boundaries, say, okay, no problem, you can stay, you can do whatever you want, this time you can do it, and then they lose their confidence because they see that, okay, it is me who is setting the boundaries, so how far can I go? And then they
Mm.
start to feel scared. It's like being alone. They start to feel alone when they have to set the boundaries because this is not their job. They are too little to do that. So it's so important that we parents set boundaries for children. And then it translates to every aspect of our life. Like we are grown ups and we have to set our own boundaries. And we need to see where the boundaries of the other people are and also to respect
Yes,
them, to see
totally.
how far we can go
Mhm.
uh, with every person. What are the rules of the game that we establish?
Yes, because also if we don't set boundaries at the beginning of a work relationship or like a sentimental relationship or anything that we should start, is after
Mhm.
it's harder. It's like with the time when you didn't set specific boundaries or you didn't say exactly what you wanted to do or say or how far we can go, then the other people is going to be putting, like you said, their own rules, and they're going to be probably crossing those boundaries all the time. And then
Mhm.
with the time, that relationship is already going in that rhythm, like with all his or her boundaries and not yours. And then after to change that and come back to us, okay, okay, I don't want that anymore. And the other person could be like surprised or saying, but what happened? Like
Mhm.
what changed? We were
What's
always
wrong
doing
with you?
okay. Yeah, why now you don't like it or you don't want it? Like, because you never said that from the beginning or before. So now it's like something that it could be uncomfortable or it could be harder to understand. So
Mhm.
that's why it's important to set boundaries at the beginning, if it's possible, and before you start something, you already know in yourself, or you think what I want from this job, how far I want to get, what I want to do,
Mhm.
what I don't want to do, how I want to be talked, how I don't like to be talked. So you
Mhm.
already know if something happened or somebody cross those lines, how you're gonna respond, how you're gonna act, what you're gonna do about it, and
Mhm.
also to be aware of those crossing boundaries, so you can say something, you can put the limit there, so people understand that that's it. This is how far I can get. She doesn't like this, or she doesn't
Mhm.
approve this, or she doesn't want to do this part of the job, but she can do
Mhm.
this. So also your
Exactly.
boss knows what you can do, how far you can get, and they don't take advantage of that or go over, and like especially on the
Mhm.
job, that
Oh
when you
yeah.
don't set boundaries, that you start doing absolutely everything for everybody, and you are like the everything for, like, you go to get coffee, you do a computer job, you go check, I don't know, the shoes that they wanted to buy, and they send you to do everything. Oh, I can go today, or can you stay longer, can you do extra hours? And you always say yes to everything because you want to look good,
Fit
because
in,
in
yes.
or yeah, you want to look good to your boss, you want to be like, like somebody that is available, so they say, oh, okay, this person is always available, she always say yes. So that's good, that's nice at the beginning. They're gonna see you as she's the one for everything, so that's good to have somebody like that in this office. But then after, that's that is gonna get to in few months or in few years. You're gonna be just that person. You're gonna be just a person that it does everything for free, that you can stay hours and hours and hours and doesn't even ask you for extra money
Mhm.
for the extra
Exactly.
hours. So
Yeah,
they're
because
gonna
this is
start
their.
like
Mhm,
stepping on you, going on top of you, on top of your head, and not appreciating you and not appreciating your job. So,
mhm.
so where does is gonna take that is gonna take you when you don't set the boundaries and you just say yes to everything? Like
Mhm,
where are you gonna get in that position or
mhm.
huh?
You remind me of like this example.
But we
The
all
first
did
time
that,
I.
I guess. Yeah,
Yes. Yes, like it's natural when we are
yeah,
new in in a new place, we try to like we are looking for the boundaries from the others and we try to be over cooperative. We do
yeah,
everything that people want and we don't realize that we are not setting boundaries. I remember my first job as a I know I was in my 20s and I was working in an office of a company and it was the same thing. Well, it was company. My father was the boss of the company, but and they gave me the job just like for an apprentice to practice, and I knew that they gave me the job for because of my father. So I was trying to be the hardest working person to prove to everyone that I'm the most like to earn my place there, you know, to show that I'm not there just for because of my daddy who gave me
yeah,
the job, but because I'm worthy uh, uh, as a worker. So I was doing anything that they asked me. I was staying longer hours after work. I was taking homework work to home because I wanted to show that I'm the hardest working person, and I never set boundaries. And what happened? They exploited me.
yeah,
Not for uh, like really this was the like I never set boundaries, and they were just saying yes and asking me things, and I never said no. So when they kept asking me things, and at some point I got angry, and I started crying, and I said that I want to work there anymore. I feel so stressed. I feel so exploited. And and then my boss, that was not my dad, my direct boss, told me, but you never told me that you are tired. Like, okay, if you're tired, don't do it. But you never
yeah,
told me that you were tired before. And this was the point when I realized, wow, that's true. Like, I took for granted that I just have to
yeah. You
work
said
hard.
something interesting there at the end, that when we don't set boundaries, okay, a ver. It was
The
cutting off. I
streaming
think the
the
internet connection
streaming
at my
stopped.
house.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay. I think now it's working good. It was a connection because it was like a
Uh-huh.
loading.
Yes, yes.
I
Yes,
think we're
I could see on the other.
back. Sorry. So
Welcome. We
you
are
were
back.
saying?
No, I was just saying that this thing that when you work too much and
Mhm.
you don't set your boundaries, the other people will force you to expand your boundaries more and more, because like every time you say yes, there will be another question, another problem to solve, and they will always ask you, and every time you say yes, there will be more and more and more. So uh, also when you get angry at some point with the people, say, I can't do this anymore, you are exploiting me, the other person can even feel hurt. It's like, wow, I never knew that
Yeah.
you had problems. I never knew that you were tired. Why you never told me that you were tired? So how do you want me to know
Yes.
to suspect this if you don't express it? So in the way, I learned that setting boundaries is also a sign of respect toward the other people,
Yes.
because if you don't set your boundaries, in a way you sacrifice yourself, and the other people, they don't want your sacrifice. They are just asking you a question, and you always have and they think that you will say no if you don't want to do it. They don't know that you have problem with saying no.
Yeah, but it's not the other people's fault. And like
Yes,
obviously they
exactly.
didn't know, they're not aware of what you feel, what is happening with you inside. So it's understandable to their reaction, no?
Of course, and they have every right to do this because, like, it's like, okay, if you don't
Yeah.
tell me what's wrong, how
Yes.
how do you want me to know?
Yeah, I know. You
And
said something interesting about the about this example that also it reminds me to, for example, like family relationships. Sometimes we have there is always some member that I don't know, it has bad words to everybody or a bad way to communicate things, or always comes to the family meetings with a bad face, like a reaction, like
oh yeah,
expression, like
I think we all
or there
have this person in the
yeah, or
family.
if you say something, yeah, always. There is always a family member
Oh yeah.
that we don't like that much the way they behave or talk or relate to other people. So what happened when we just suck it up, to say it in a way?
Hmm.
Like we don't say nothing and we just, every time we go to a meeting, we just try to be there with that person, like just but inside, what's happening inside? So we are just smiling, pretending that nothing happened. If he say or she say something, we just say okay, or just pretend, that everything is okay, that we don't care about that person attitude or the way that person talks to us, because we don't wanna fight, we don't wanna, we think that it's going to be a fight, or that we don't want to go to that uncomfortable uh, communicating that something we don't like, that we don't know how the other person is going to react. So we prefer to don't say nothing and just pretend and just be there uncomfortable. So what happened with that? That we don't say, I don't like that. I don't like to be talked like that. I don't like the way you laugh at people or the way you joke about other people. Like, it's not nice for me. I don't appreciate that. When we don't say nothing, what's happening in the inside? So we start accumulating some anger, resentment to that
Hmm.
person. So every time somebody say, okay, there is a family meeting, how we feel?
And we
Oh,
say,
we
I
had
don't
to
want to
see that
go.
person again. Yeah, we had to see that person. We had to deal with that, with his behavior, with his way of communicating, or his bad jokes, or like disrespectful jokes. Like, yeah, so you start feeling uncomfortable, nervous, like you don't want to deal with that situation. And then there is a point that you stop going. So you say, okay, I don't want to go if that person comes. So
Mm.
there is a point that you don't enjoy family meetings anymore, that you don't share with your family anymore, all because you didn't want to say to that person or talk to that person at the beginning or before or a long time ago about the behavior that bothers you, that is uncomfortable for you and maybe for other people too. So nobody says nothing, or you don't go, or there is one meeting that everybody's there and that person is there, and you are already here with his BS.
Yes. And you burst out and you
You
explode.
explode. Yeah, you explode and you start yelling at everybody or saying, I don't want to be here anymore. I hate the way he talks. Why you are so rude? Or start like, so it's a mess. Now it's a
Yes, and
family problem.
yes, and this is this famous situation when everyone else who's looking at this person asks, "What's wrong with him? He's got some mental problem, or are you tired at work?" Like they are always trying to find another reason because this is not something that they are used to. They like people don't say that you are trying to like bottle up your feelings for so long that now they exploded. They just think, okay, this is not your behavior is not normal.
Yeah.
And they don't send you. So
How
uh,
that affect you too? Like, why you had to get to that point that is
mhm.
so bad for you and it's bothering you inside so much, you accumulating so much resentment, that then you get to the point that you explode. First, because it's not good to say things in that way and to talk to other people in that way, because that's exactly what you don't want to be taught and you don't want to hear or receive from other people. And
Mhm.
then because it's a situation that you could avoid, no?
Exactly. That is here you are. I think you are talking about one of those three most important things of boundaries, and this is there that they help maintain the relationship sustainable in time, the sustainability. Because if you don't speak out your boundaries, if you don't express your needs, you are creating a lot of misunderstandings in a relationship. So at the long run, it will not stand the test of time, because at some point you will explode and you will say horrible things. The other person will feel hurt and they will stop talking to you, and everything is destroyed. And this is also like something very important that we don't take into account, that if we don't set boundaries, in a way the relationship is doomed to failure at some point, because at some point you will explode one way or another, or you will get ill. Because sometimes we somatize the feelings, and if we can express them, our body starts to express them. So one way or another, it will backfire.
Yeah, that's why setting boundaries is so important for a lot of reasons, but it's not just first, it's a way of self-love. It's a way of being authentic, since we were talking the last stream about being authentic. So also when you set boundaries, you are aligned with your feelings, with the way you want to be, the way you want to be treated. So it's a way of self-care, self-love, being authentic, being confident too. Because if you are a confident person, you're never gonna let people cross those boundaries too. Because you know what you want, you know how much you're worth, you know,
exactly.
how valuable you are. So that's very important too.
Exactly. So when you know your self-worth, you can honor your own needs, and it also gives clarity to the relationship, which is also one of those fundamental concepts of a good relationship, any relationship, love relationship, work relationship. If there's clarity of needs and of the rules, the rules of the game, then the relationship can thrive. If not, it is not sustainable in time.
Yes.
Yeah. There are some people.
No, sorry, when you finish, because I have a little video that is kind of funny about the boundaries.
Nice.
So
No, I just wanted to say hello to.
Okay. Yes, we can say hello, since we're cutting a little bit and we're going to show video. There is some people there that started to follow and saying hello.
Yes, there's Nusrat Queen. I don't know if I'm spelling it, pronouncing it right.
Yes.
And Badal.
Yes. Sometimes it's so funny here in Arena, the names or the nicknames that they chose to be called. So it's I don't know. Sometimes I can't even understand what is supposed to be how to read it. But thank you for being there.
Yes. Thank you, guys. We are just learning. We are getting to know this platform. There are a lot of things that we don't understand yet. Yes.
But
Maybe
slowly we're learning.
Maybe we should change our names too to sound more mysterious. Like they are too straightforward. Yes.
It's an option too. Yeah, let me see if I have it here. Yeah, we're gonna share now a short video and we're coming back. So I have to stop this one.
Can I talk to you about something? Yeah, what's up? I just wanted to get on the same page about the fight we had last night. Okay. And I know it takes two to fight, and I certainly want to work on making sure I'm not escalating things and I'm being respectful. And if you feel like I bring up things in a rude or critical way, then I have no problem addressing that. All right. But I'm just letting you know ahead of time that I'm not okay with being called names during a conflict. Listen, I got worked up. I said that in the heat of the moment. You know I didn't mean that. Well, regardless of whether you meant it or not, it's not okay, right? So in the future, once there's any name calling or yelling or aggression, I'm just letting you know now that I have to leave the room for 30 minutes. Do not follow me. I'm not being immature and just abandoning this. I promise I will come back and have this conversation. I'm just not willing to do so if those things are present. Hold on, so you're giving me ultimatums now? No, this isn't an ultimatum. This is just one of my boundaries. So you're trying to control me. I'm not trying to control you. You're still free to say whatever you want. I'm just reminding you that I'm also free to remove myself from any conversations where there's disrespect or contempt.
Okay. I love this his show.
Yes.
Yes, he's everywhere. YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. And he's saying, he reminds me of, well, of all this huge topic of the narcissist, people with
Mhm.
narcissist personality,
Yes.
and how to survive when you have a boss who's a narcissist, who's always trying to manipulate and make you feel guilty, make you feel, show that you are wrong and he's always right, and that you should be sorry. And navigating such a relationship, may it be a personal relationship or a professional relationship, is
Mhm.
very tricky. And setting boundaries is the most important thing here. And they will always trying to make you feel guilty. And so in a way, that, like, I used to work with people who were victims of the narcissist, and they were trying to fight to get out of the relationship and find their own voice and find their regain their own value. And I remember that learning to set boundaries was the hardest part for them.
Yeah.
And
It is hard.
Mhm. Because the narcissists are pushing you all the time to move your boundaries, and then they make you feel guilty about this.
I know. And when we talk about boundaries, I can help to think about people that I know that
Mhm.
I have like examples. There is one of this person that I'm related with. He has a very hard time putting setting boundaries at work. Like he's a lawyer, he works very hard, he has a lot of degrees and masters, and he study constantly. Like he spends so much time and money growing in his knowledge and being better as a lawyer. But every time somebody called him to for a new job or to work with him, like he doesn't know how to put himself in the place that he deserves or he should be. So many times he does jobs for pennies or for free even, when he already is in a position, at least the way I see it from outside, that he could charge good money because that's how much he worked and how much he studied and all the effort that he put on his career. And he's been working as a lawyer for many years. So that's something that people value. That value, they call him because they want him for his case. So that means he's important for that person. So he should also know that his self value and say, okay, I think I worth this. I think my time worth this. And why sometimes there is people that I don't know, it's so hard for them to set boundaries and to put value to themselves and to say,
Mhm.
okay, till here I'm doing this, but this no, because it's not part of the job that you call me for, or doing favors all the time, you know. Okay, he paid
Mhm.
so much for me to do this, so I feel so uncomfortable to not doing this for free, to add in it just as a favor. Why I'm gonna charge for this if he already paid that much, or little things like that, no? That
Mhm.
and you already letting other people crossing the boundaries. And then after he's like, oh, but he asked me to do this and now I have to work so many hours and I don't have time to do something else, or I don't have time to my family or whatever, because I'm doing this for free. So at what cost? Because it's
Mhm.
free for the other person, but is it free for you?
Totally. I think now, in the, well, with the internet, we can see it oftentimes, that there are so many offers that people are giving us for free,
Yes.
some giveaways or free masterclass, or some sort of lead magnets that are used in marketing. And how do you, when you receive something for free, how do you treat it? Do you value it?
Mm,
Not so
yes.
much.
No.
I subscribe to many different challenges, master classes, workshops that are for free, and I don't attend them later. Like I
Exactly. I
don't.
do the same. Yeah.
Yes, and it's exactly that's the thing. Like if something is given to you for free, you don't give value to you. You don't give it. You don't give so much value to it
Yes.
yourself because it is for free. So yes, you don't prioritize it. But if you pay at least, I don't know, $2 for something, then
Yeah.
if by paying you show that you value it, you give it more meaning, so you treat it more seriously. And the same happens when we receive services of people who don't value themselves, and they say, okay, if you need help, I will give it to you for free. They
Yes.
will I will not feel comfortable with this either, and I
Or I
will.
can be on the phone anytime you need, and then they will
Uh-huh.
say, okay, then why I'm gonna pay for a session if they can answer to me on the phone, for
Yes,
example.
exactly, and it happens many times with people, with coaches, with psychologists
Yeah.
that are helping people, and then they talk on the phone or they answer WhatsApp chat,
Mm.
and they do therapy for free on
Yes.
WhatsApp, and they spend hours answering WhatsApp messages, and at the same time and people also, they don't value the conversation by WhatsApp. They just
No, it's not the
they
same. Yeah.
Yes, because then they after a week they have the same problem again. So they don't
Yeah.
put into practice what is given to you for free. They
Yes.
put into practice if they have to pay for it. That's my theory ultimately.
No, in work talking, yes, yes, with jobs and
Mhm,
with your work but yes, obviously, yeah,
mhm.
it is proven.
Yes,
We
because
know
this
that.
is like uh-huh. This is like the boundary that we need to set when we offer services. And this like all I wanted to say by this is that it is good to set boundaries because it is also healthy and makes other people value you more
Yes.
than if you do everything for free because you don't know how to set boundary. So
Yeah, and setting boundaries also how, like with respect, with love,
yes,
care. Like
exactly.
not
You don't
just saying, no, I don't want that, I don't like it, or why are you talking to me like that? Like that's not a healthy way to set a boundary.
Mhm. Yes, exactly. Like you can set boundaries and not be aggressive. You can be very respectful and set boundaries. And there is a couple of tricks about how to do it. One of them is just talking about yourself, observing. Like there are like 4 steps in this non-violent communication style. You can observe the situation, saying, "Can you give me some example where you have to set your boundaries?" So that we can practice this
Yes.
method. A situation where you need to set boundaries.
Mm.
For
That can be a good activity for people after when we finish, like something that they can work
Mhm.
on it or stay with it.
Uh-huh.
That
Yes.
will be to think an example, like
Mhm.
there
What
is some relationship or work wise or with a girlfriend, boyfriend, or family member that I'm not comfortable with something and I need to set a boundary. So we can
Mhm.
work on that, and then you're gonna help them with the steps.
Yes. Yes, because the steps are quite easy. You just observe the situation and
Mm,
express. For example, I see that every time, that you are asking me to do more and more in your work situation. When the boss gives you too much work, you can just say, "Okay, I see that every time I finish some task, you are giving me 2 or 3 more tasks." So you observe the situation, you describe what is happening. Then you have to say how it makes you feel. It makes me
mm,
feel overwhelmed because I also have other things to do for other departments, for example. And then you have to express your necessity. I need to have clarity about the amount of work that I have per week, and so I can work, so I can organize myself. And then you make a question: could you give me work like on Monday and not without extra work or something like this. So in a way, you express the situation without being disrespectful. You just express your needs and make a and make a question, like a very concrete question. Could we just organize work on my every Monday and try not to get more work for me during the week? So
Yes. Yes,
how
and
does
think
this sound?
practice, no? It also takes practice.
Oh
Think
yes.
and think before the
Mhm.
situation comes to you. If you already know that there is something, when we say where we need to take action in setting
Mhm.
boundaries, we all have an example right away coming to our head.
Oh
For
yes.
sure, there is something that you have there that you need to work on. So think about that. We can start with one example, one boundary that we need to set somewhere, and we can practice. Just think alone yourself. You can write it down. You can think about it. You can say, okay, this is the situation. How I feel. Think about how you feel. Where do you feel that uncomfortness or that stress? Where is it in your body? How you can take it out from there. So we can practice, okay, how I can say to this person that I don't like this, okay, how I will say it in a nice way, in a respectful way, something that the other person can understand, and it comes from something from a good part of me and not from with anger or like not as a
Mhm.
reaction. So I'm just trying to set something that I already process, I already think about it, I already feel it, let it go, breathe out, and then I can say something better with love, with care, nicer, being so the other person will receive it like that too.
Mhm.
So you can practice and say, okay, how I will say it. I will say it like this or not.
Mhm.
Maybe I can say a little better. I can change this word. This word doesn't sound good. So you practice to yourself. You say it to yourself. So then when the situation comes and you are in that place that you don't want to be, you know already what to say, how to say it. So
Mhm.
remember that.
Exactly. The this research, no, rehearsal, when we rehearse research.
In front of the mirror.
Yes, it helps a lot. It helps because
Yeah.
it makes it possible. Neurologically, it's even explained that if we practice something, like the way we say no to somebody, even if we practice it in front of the mirror, it makes so much difference because we get used to, we learn, we teach our body how to be in this situation. So then when the time comes when we have to really stand up to somebody and say what we think or what we feel, our body already knows what to do.
Mhm.
So I think it's very important to practice, and also to choose the moment to set boundaries when it is,
Yeah.
if the situation is chronical, like there's a boss in my job who's always giving me like extra work, and so then I have to find a moment when I'm not angry, when I'm not crying, I'm not emotionally overwhelmed,
Yeah.
to set the boundary. And this is when we can use the techniques that are available there in non-violent communication model.
Yes.
Uh, but it's also important, I think, like, just to finish, we are getting to the end, but I think that the most important step to set boundaries is to learn setting our own inner boundaries by ourselves,
Yes.
because sometimes, well, oftentimes I have there are people that I'm coaching who have this problem that they say that they cannot set boundaries with other people, and we start with their own boundaries and say, okay, what are the boundaries that you are setting to yourself? And they have problem. Usually the same people who cannot set boundaries to other people are the same people who cannot set their own boundaries, like saying, okay, I will not eat after midnight, I will not eat sugar after midnight, or I will not spend hours scrolling on Instagram or watching videos on YouTube. And these are those people who cannot say no to themselves, who cannot say, okay, it's enough, I need to stop doing this because I need to do something else. If we are all the time, like in this situation where we cannot decide when we should stop one activity and start the other, it is hard for us also to do this with other people, to set the limits to other people. So also the first step, if you are in this situation, is to check where are my boundaries, and do I how faithful I am to my own boundaries. Am I meeting my boundaries? Am I respecting my own boundaries?
Yes. We have to start from us. Yes, always. The first step is like it's always from us to the others. Yes, that's very important. Yeah, and that's part of being authentic.
Exactly. It's all the topics are connected.
Related. So we're gonna keep talking about the previous topics too, because everything comes together. It's like they join the.
Yes, totally. They are
in. Put one, and then we add another, and we create a long chain.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so I have now a video to play after. We're gonna leave 5 boundary tips for people to watch. And so we're gonna leave you for now as we're gonna play those videos to close the topic and to add a little bit more information about boundaries. Very clear. This video is very clear and goes straight to the point.
The point. Okay. And we want to say thank you to all of you guys who are there, who are here. We would love some feedback. If you could write in the comment sections things that
so we know you are there too.
Yes, things that are useful for you. If what we are saying is useful for you, if you would like us to explore other topics,
or maybe you want to say the same topic and talk more about it. There is always more.
Yes, we would love some feedback and interaction. We would love it to be as interactive as possible.
Start maybe after with the stages. That is something that we didn't do. And then you can make people participate, so they can come up and talk and share their experience or give examples of what we're talking, so we can go deeper.
So would you like that? Yes. How does that sound? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we have to get used to only and see how it works. And then we can start exploring with the stages too.
Yes, it's another technical challenge.
Okay, so today is Thursday, so see you Tuesday for Spanish speakers. We're gonna continue with this topic, boundaries, but in Spanish. So you're welcome.
Yeah, and then for all you English speakers, we see you on Thursday, next Thursday.
Next Thursday, yes, at the same time.
Okay, and now the video.
Okay. Yes, now we're gonna play video. Okay. Let's see. We're gonna come up with the video now. So we're gonna go to the So we're gonna put the 5 signs. Where is it? This one. Okay. Okay. The screen.
Boundaries. Number 1 is overcommitting or people-pleasing. An example of this is consistently agreeing to take on tasks when you feel overloaded. You may fear disappointing the person or fear that saying no will feel mean or withholding. We all have a narrative identity. This is the story about yourself that you have in your head that brings together your past, present, and future and gives you purpose. I will talk more in detail about narrative.
They're telling me that there is no sound. Wait. I don't know why. Maybe the microphone.
This time you changed the stage,
so,
because we are present. Last time you were just sharing the screen.
Now we're gonna leave. We're gonna leave the video here. Yes. it's a new way of sharing. So after we can also make another stream, reacting to the videos. But now
Okay.
this time I share it from here, but we can leave the video alone. But I don't know why they. Can you hear the video good?
Right now, no.
Because they telling me that they can hear no sound. Let me see. Maybe I share wrong the video. I'm gonna remove it. We're gonna add it again. But wait, no. Let's see. Video file. No, it's the only way I have here. But okay, so we're gonna leave, and we're gonna leave the video right now. So I'm gonna be here. So we're gonna add this to the stage. Just a video. Okay, we're gonna play the game.
Identity,
That's it.
self-worth. These are just some of the outcomes of having weak boundaries. I'm Dr. Tracy Marks, a psychiatrist, and I make mental health education videos. Today, I'm going to give you 5 signs that you need stronger boundaries. Number 1 is overcommitting or people-pleasing. An example of this is consistently agreeing to take on tasks when you feel overloaded. You may fear disappointing the person or fear that saying no will feel mean or withholding. We all have a narrative identity. This is the story about yourself that you have in your head that brings together your past, present, and future and gives you purpose. I will talk more in detail about narrative identity and how to uncover yours in another video that will be linked to this one. Let's say part of your narrative identity is that you're not a selfish person and that selfishness is saying no to something that you're capable of doing. There are no unreasonable requests, and if you have the ability or skill to do something, there's no legitimate reason to say no. Saying no is denying others. You could believe this because this attitude was modeled for you by don't want to do, but feel obligated to do to spare someone else disappointment. What can you do about this? Keep in mind that strengthening boundaries is an iterative process. You make small changes and continue to revise. The power behind saying no will come from identifying your needs, wants, and values first so that you can remind yourself of why you're saying no. Your need or value is the justification for saying no. Then start by saying no to low-stakes situations. These are things that have the least personal impact. The small no's will help you build the confidence to say no to the bigger things, like things that only you can do, and lots of people would benefit if you would just give your time to this. To make saying no easier, prepare a script or rehearse a response for common situations, and remind yourself that saying no is an act of self-care and not a rejection of others. Number 2 is feeling responsible for others' emotions. An example of this is constantly worrying about making others upset or angry and changing your own behavior to keep people happy, even at the expense of your own well-being. An intervention for this is to develop self-awareness by recognizing when you're absorbing other people's emotions. When there are strong emotions in the air, practice distinguishing between what you actually feel and what the other person is expressing. You'll need to remind yourself that you're not responsible for how others feel. Number 3, being unable to express your personal needs or opinions. So in a relationship, you don't express your desires or opinions. You go along with what the other person wants, neglecting your own needs. And this is pretty common if you're conflict avoidant. You'd rather go along with what the other person says than challenge them or ruin the mood with your contrary opinion. Here's one thing you can do. Start by identifying your own needs and opinions in private through journaling or self-reflection or through the narrative identity exercise that I'll talk about next week. Think of opinions that you've held back on expressing for fear of starting an argument or being judged. Practice spontaneously voicing these opinions around people who are supportive and open-minded, so they won't mind you saying these things and give you the space to do so. This practice will help you build up to expressing them in situations where you can't predict the reactions. Number 4 is feeling guilty when prioritizing yourself. And this is related to being unable to say no, but this is specifically around the issue of putting yourself first when you do say no or think about saying no. An example is feeling a ton of guilt when you set aside time for self-care or personal interests. You don't feel good about doing that because you believe it's a waste of productive time or selfish not to be available to others. Here's an example. Let's say you're an accountant by trade, and during tax season, when you're working long hours, your friend asks you to give them a call later this evening so they can run some ideas by you regarding their taxes before they meet with their accountant. Or worse, your good friend asks if you don't mind giving their sister some advice, and you're not friends with their sister. Now, at the end of the workday, you're exhausted and you need downtime. The last thing you want to do is come home and spend an hour on the phone talking business with someone as a favor to a friend. You say no so that you can come home and watch television, but you can't enjoy it very much because you feel guilty that you're choosing television over your friend's request. What you can do here is challenge the validity of your guilt-inducing thoughts and replace them with affirmations that emphasize the importance of self-care. Recognize that taking care of yourself enables you to be more present and supportive of others. Number 5 is sharing personal information too quickly or with the wrong people. In this scenario, you overshare personal history or secrets in inappropriate settings or before you've established trust. A solution here is to develop a checklist of what information you are comfortable sharing, with whom, and under what circumstances. To help you get started, here are some topics to think twice about before disclosing. Medical conditions and treatment, mental health conditions and struggles, issues with parents, siblings, or extended family, past trauma experiences, past problems in romantic relationships, controversial political or religious views, and finances like your salary, debt, and spending habits. This is not an exhaustive list, and they are not topics that are completely off limits. They are topics that require you to read the room first because they may make people feel uncomfortable, judged, vulnerable, or overwhelmed, just to name a few emotions that these topics could evoke. To use a business analogy, it's like doing a hard sell to a cold lead. You need a certain amount of permission to share some things with people, and likewise, the other person should earn your trust before you share intimate details of your mental life. If you have loose boundaries, you likely struggle to know what's too intimate too soon. And that's where pausing and thinking about these things can help you gain better control over what you share. For more on understanding your mental life and your narrative identity, watch this video. If you don't see it yet, it's coming soon. Thanks for watching today. See you next time.